Welcome. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Rise and Thrive podcast, your go-to source for all things growth, grit, and greatness in the fitness world. I'm your host, Manny Fraser, and we're diving deep into a topic that I know will resonate with many of you: how to motivate yourself out of rock bottom. Whether you're a personal trainer, fitness professional, or someone trying to rebuild a tough situation, this episode's for you. Before we get into it, the heart of today's discussion, I want to share something personal. Something I've recently begun to talk about more openly. It's a chapter in my life that was filled with darkness, uncertainty, and a whole lot of soul searching. I'm talking about my time being incarcerated. Now, you might wonder, how is a guy like me who's passionate about fitness, personal development, ended up in prison? And honestly, that's a story for another time. But I want to focus on today is what I learned during that period, how I motivated myself out of rock bottom and transformed that experience into the fuel for my journey forward. So let's jump into it. Number one, I learned to have a vision. When I was behind bars, I had two choices: let my situation define me or create a vision of who I wanted to become. I chose the latter. And that's my first lesson for you. No matter where you are in life, you need a vision. You need a clear picture of where you want to go. Without it, you're like a ship lost at sea with no destination in sight. But having a vision isn't just about dreaming, it's about seeing a future that pulls you forward, even when everything around you is falling apart. Ask yourself, what do you want to become? What impact do you want to have on others? What legacy do you want to leave behind? Number two, you need to have standards that match your vision. Now, a vision is powerful, but it's useless without standards to match it. It's easy to dream big, but what are you willing to do to make those dreams into a reality? During my lowest moments, I realized I couldn't just talk about who I wanted to be. I had to start living like that person. So I started working out on a regular basis. I started training people. I started reading books on fitness. I started improving my mindset. I worked on my own personal self-improvement so I can improve others. For you, this might mean setting higher standards in your business, your relationships, your health, and yes, even your mindset. Standards are the guardrails that keep you on track. If your vision is to become a top personal trainer, then your standards should reflect that, whether it is in a way that you train, the way you communicate, or how you show up every day. Number three, have a strategy to make your vision happen. A vision without a strategy is just a wish. Once you define your vision and establish your standards, it's time to get strategic. When I was in prison, my strategy was simple but powerful. I focused on what I could control. I read books, I educated myself, and developed a daily routine that would prepare me for the day I walked out of those doors. In the fitness world, strategy might look like developing a business plan, setting specific goals, or mastering your craft. Whatever it is, make sure your strategy is actionable and aligned with your vision. Number four, know how to communicate your vision. It's not enough to have a vision. You need to know how to communicate it. If people don't know what you stand for or what you're aiming for, how can they support you? How can they be part of your journey? When I got out, I made sure that my vision was clear to everyone around me. I wanted them to see that I wasn't the same person who went in. I communicated my goals, my standards, and my strategy to everyone who mattered. And guess what? That brought the right people into my life. People who supported my growth and believed in my journey. For you, this means sharing your vision with your clients, your colleagues, and your community. Might mean sharing with your spouse, your other loved ones, children, parents. Let them see your passion and your purpose. When you communicate your vision effectively, you inspire others to join you on your journey. Number 5, overcome your fears. Don't run away from them. Fear is a powerful force. It keeps us from taking risks, from stepping out of our comfort zone, and from pursuing our dreams. But here's the thing. You can't run away from your fears forever. Sooner or later, they'll catch up to you. In prison, I had to face my fears head on. I had to confront the reality of my situation and decide whether I would let fear control my life or whether I would rise above it. And I can tell you this, what you should be more afraid of is not the fear itself, but the regret of not living up to your potential. So I challenge you to face your fears, whether it's fear of failure, fear of rejection, or fear of the unknown. Don't let it hold you back. Remember, the pain of regret is far worse than the pain of taking action. Number 6, don't convince yourself to continue on a bad path. Finally, don't fall into the trap of convincing yourself to stay on a path that's not serving you. We've all been there, telling ourselves that things will get better if we just keep going. But sometimes the things you can do is recognize that you're on the wrong path and have the courage to change direction. For me, that meant leaving behind people, places, and habits that led me to rock bottom in the first place. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary. And that's what I want to leave with you today. Don't be afraid to change course. If you know in your heart that something isn't right, don't wait for things to get worse before you make changes. To all the personal trainers and fitness professionals listening, if you're at rock bottom right now, know that you have the power to rise up. Start by having a vision. Set standards that reflect of the vision. Create a strategy. Communicate those goals. Face your fears and don't be afraid to change your path if it's not leading you where you want to go. I've been there. I've walked that road, and I'm telling that you can come out stronger on the other side. This one's kind of a hard one to talk about because I recently just started talking more about my journey through, my situation. And I had to get over a lot of my own personal embarrassment, shame, and, it's basically embarrassment and shame of being incarcerated. Because for me, it's not a proud moment of my life. I never talked about it because I wasn't proud of it at all. I was quite embarrassed of it. And the reason I was embarrassed is because of the fact that a guy like me who played sports, who worked out, who hung out with his friends, got into a predicament where I just let myself go too far. And I ended up in a position that, I never thought I would have ended up. But I did. And when I did, it really was rock bottom. It was me in a cell at night, looking up and really trying hard not to focus on the negatives and really focusing on the positives. And the positives were, thank God I'm alive. I thank God I can live for another day. I thank God I have this daily routine. I thank God I have food. And these were things that I was thankful for. It was very difficult because of the fact that these were the things. There's nothing else. When I say that being able to get yourself or to work yourself, get yourself motivated out of a rock bottom, when I say what that looks like, I'm telling you from my own personal experience of what that was and what I went through. Now, you might not be going through that type of rock bottom experience right now, and that's okay. Maybe you are. And if you are, I hear you. If you're not, take some of the things that I'm saying. These strategies don't need to go right down to prison. It could be that you're going through a divorce. It could be that you're going through a major breakup, career change. It could be that you're going through some financial struggle, health issues. It could be good you're going through some stuff, and I can understand that you're going through it. But realistically, I'm telling you right now that if you keep yourself and you hold true to the things that I'm telling you to do, you'll get out on the other side and you'll make it out and you will be successful. I will guarantee you that. I have your back for life, and I know it because I know for myself that it worked because I kept myself focused on what I want to attain and what I want to do. And you can do the same thing. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of the Rise and Thrive podcast. If this resonated with you, share it with a friend. Leave a review. And make sure that you keep on rising. Keep on thriving. Until next time. And remember, never settle for anything less than greatness, the greatness you are capable of. Peace.